Bienvenidos al universo CigarFati.
Can one sentence really change the world? I mean, it sounds like a stretch, doesn't it? But history is full of these wild moments where just a few words completely flip the script on how people lived. Today, we're jumping into one of those stories, all about how one guy's personal preference, wrapped up in a single, simple phrase, yanked an activity out of the shadows and put it right into the spotlight of high society. And the change was, well, it was mind-blowing. Before 1901, if you were enjoying a cigar, it was something you did on the down low, something seen as a habit for the common folk. But after 1901, bam, it becomes this public statement of class and influence. So how on earth did a social taboo that was so deeply ingrained just vanish overnight? Well, the story starts in a very, very buttoned-up world. Okay, so to really get just how massive this shift was, we've got to take a trip back in time. Picture it, late 19th century England. You're in the middle of Queen Victoria's long and famously strict reign. This was a time that was all about tight moral codes and social rules that could suffocate you. In that world, smoking was a big, fat no in public. It was seen as vulgar, something you'd find in a pub with the working class, definitely not in a fancy drawing room. If a gentleman of status wanted a cigar, he had to do it in secret, tucked away in a special smoking room, far away from any respectable eyes. It was a private, almost guilty kind of pleasure.
But hey, nothing lasts forever, right? And the end of the Victorian era brought a new character to the throne, who was, in pretty much every way you can imagine, the absolute polar opposite of his mother. And that huge turning point hits in 1901. After more than 60 years on the throne, I mean, think about that. Queen Victoria dies and the Victorian era is officially over. Her son, Edward, a man who's been waiting his whole life to be king, finally gets his chance. He becomes King Edward VII. And King Edward, he was just different. This guy was a true bon vivant, a man who loved amazing food, beautiful women, and just all the good things in life. He was a complete break from the stiff moral vibe of the past, and he was about to kick off a new, modern era in a way nobody saw coming. And this is it. This is the moment where everything changes. With a new king on the throne who loves to have a good time, the entire world is just watching, holding its breath, wondering what's he going to do first. So what did he do? What powerful move did he pull to just demolish a social rule that had been locked in for generations? Did he spend years pushing through new laws? Did he make some grand royal announcement from the palace? Nope. There was no act of parliament, no long, boring debates. This change definitely did not come from the politicians. And it wasn't a formal, heavy-handed royal decree either. It was something way simpler. And honestly, that's what made it so incredibly powerful. He did it with just 3 words. When he became king, Edward VII simply said that smoking was a pleasant diversion. That's it. That's the whole thing. With that one simple phrase, he basically gave it the royal seal of approval. And in an instant, he reframed a hidden vice as a totally respectable hobby. And let me tell you, those 3 words weren't just some casual comment he made. Oh no, they were the spark that lit a cultural wildfire that would race across the entire planet. The dominoes started falling immediately. I mean, the second the king says it's okay, the entire aristocracy scrambles to copy him. What was seen as low class yesterday became the ultimate symbol of cool and power, pretty much overnight. And because of Britain's power, this new trend didn't just stay in London. All of a sudden, you see the most important people in society smoking out in the open, and they were proud of it. Politicians were making deals over cigars, diplomats were using them in negotiations, and it became a common sight among the smartest and most creative people. The cigar was officially a tool of power and culture. And you gotta remember, back at the turn of the 20th century, the British Empire's influence was just massive. That old saying, "the sun never sets on the British Empire," that was literally true. So whatever became trendy in London, well, that soon became the standard in places like India, Hong Kong, Canada, and all over the world. The king's little preference didn't just change Britain, it changed the globe. But this story is about way more than just cigars. It's really a fascinating peek under the hood at how culture itself actually works.
What it really shows us is how one powerful, authoritative figure, whether it's a king back then or a huge celebrity influencer today, has this incredible ability to just redefine what society thinks is normal. One endorsement, one simple phrase, can literally create a new tradition that sticks around for generations.
And that leaves us with a really interesting question to chew on. What social custom that we all take for granted right now is actually so flimsy that it could be completely flipped on its head tomorrow, just because the right person said the right thing at the right time? It's a pretty powerful thought. Si te gustó, si lo disfrutaste, si aprendiste algo nuevo, suscríbete al canal porque recién comenzamos.